She's back! Yeah! It's me, Mariah Renee. Welcome back to the channel. This is Mariah Manifest. It's a little cloudy out today. That's why it is so bright. The clouds are like bouncing off the sunlight. It is really nice outside. We've got a nice breeze. It's a little overcast. My neighbors just did some yard work with their trees. They like cut back their trees and it looks really nice. So we're out on the porch again. And today we are talking about what I learned in solitude. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I was in a car accident back in October of 2023 and it completely changed my life. I have not been working. I've been unemployed from this. You know, as losing your job does, my life has completely changed. And I've been doing a lot of reflecting over the last year, almost 2 years at this point. I guess 18 months. I don't know how to do math. I've been doing some reflecting and I have sort of made 3 main points on what I've learned in solitude. And so naturally, because I think I experienced such amazing things, I want to share. We've got notes. We always have notes. We always have notes. The first and probably the most important thing that I have come to learn over this period of time is that solitude is not isolation. I have experienced and been observing some of my friendships changing over the course of the last little over a year. And I actually just recently removed myself from a friend group that I was not the happiest in and not feeling the most loved in for quite some time, but was so afraid of being alone because I already felt so isolated in my friend groups that I was like, how is being alone going to be the answer to my problem? There's something extra hurtful when you feel alone in a crowd of people, because you know that you are in proximity to people who theoretically should be offering you comfort, support, community, communication, and they just aren't. And when they're in your face, it gives you time to be like, what's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? Why can't I get closer with this person? Why can't our friendship like fulfill me? I am around these people and I feel like I pour into these people. Why do I feel so empty inside? Why do I feel like an empty cup at the end of it all with nothing being poured back into me? That feeling is not solitude. That feeling is isolation. And that isolation is coming from some type of understanding, whether it be because of you, because of them, because of both of you, that your cups are not equal. You're pouring, and you're leaving with an empty cup because they're allowing you to fill them up without giving anything back. Solitude is sort of the exact opposite. You just like sit with your cup and you pour into yourself. And it's fulfilling in a way that pouring into others and watching them love how great your pour is and love what you give into them but have nothing to offer back, that's the feeling of disconnect, of isolation, of grief, of disappointment. When you're by yourself in solitude, there's just so much more that you are able to not necessarily control, because certainly, like some days that I'm back here by myself, I'm like thinking a lot, and some days when I'm back here by myself, like I'm just vibing, right? So there's still so much out of my control. I don't know if you can hear me over the wind. But because I am able to connect with myself, that's just a skill that has definitely strengthened for me over the years. When I am doing the things that I love to do or exploring the hobbies that I've been trying out since I've been like a stay-at-home person, I am able to connect with myself through that activity in a way that I just wasn't with the people that were in my life. It doesn't mean that they were bad people, and it doesn't mean that I was a bad person. What it did mean, though, is that I had moved on, or my life shifted, my life moved, and they were unable to move with me. And instead of coming to realization with that earlier on and just sort of accepting that for what it was, I sort of stopped moving. And I was kind of like, okay, well, if I just stand halfway between like where I was and where I should be, I'll be like close enough where I know that things have changed, but I'll be close enough so that these people could still stay in community with me. And as time was just going on, I just started to realize I have moved far enough away where I'm not actually in community with these people. I am at best being able to observe them with their community, but it is clear that I am an outsider. It is clear that where I was once valued, the value has changed, rather that been on how I felt like my friends were receiving me or what I wanted to be valued for. The values had changed. I had moved. I was no longer where I was. And so solitude has come with, instead of standing in that middle point where I'm not really where I'm supposed to be and I'm not where I was, I feel like you are my biggest op. Can you move? All right. Come on. I'm working on a time crunch here, man. And so like once I moved to where I needed to be, which I feel like has been solitude, I feel far more comfortable with where I am than where I once was. I don't feel isolated. I just feel kind of like alone. What I have learned from solitude is that solitude is a time to rest, recover, reflect, and get ready because something big is going to happen, okay? The Hermit is not a minor arcana, it is a major arcana. There is something about being with yourself, allowing yourself to illuminate and hold the light to illuminate what is before you. It is a time of reconnecting with all that is dark within you so that you are able to bring it forward to the light as you move onward. Another like kind of example that's been resonating with me a lot is Jesus's 40-day fast in the desert alone before he started his ministry, where he was in constant discipleship. Jesus did not bring the 12 with him and say like, hey guys, like we got to get ready. He went by himself, he fasted, he faced what was to come right in front of his face. He looked at the devil in his eye and said, I am about to start my mission and you will not stop me. He took the time alone to reflect, to rest, to plan, and the hardest of all, to wait for what was to come. I think it's really important that when you are given the opportunity to just completely peace out, you take it. This time to do nothing but heal my back, heal my thoughts, explore my hobbies, connect with the things that I've loved but have let fall apart because it wasn't being reinforced within me. It's been amazing. I don't know what to say. Other than like it's been so healing. There is something about finally being like, you know what? My people actually don't like or know all of the parts of me, and that's okay. But I want to be in community with all of the parts of me. And so if that means that I need to be by myself, that's okay. I feel like right now has been really important to me because the moment that I really realized that I was holding on to things that I just really needed to let go of and move on, the moment that I cut the ties, I found myself immediately surrounded by all of the people that like I hadn't connected with in over a year, that I hadn't taken the time to text and think about, that I hadn't been worrying about for the past year. And not only was I now surrounded by not a new group of people, because these are people that have always been in my life. I just was now giving time to them. I was now telling the universe, like, okay, I have room. It's like they came to me. I had like 3 friends that I hadn't talked to in a really long time reach out to me, help me, talk to me, encourage me. And these were conversations that I hadn't had in such a long time that I was like, oh my gosh, like, why is the solitude working so well? The biggest thing that I noticed is I went from spending a lot of time per day grieving friendships to spending time in community with friends and with people that I need. Not just people who I felt like needed me, but people, and not just that I was necessarily friends with people because they needed me, but from kind of to reference, like, I was pouring into these people's cups and I just felt like I was getting dribbles back. I finally feel like the way that I have felt poured into within conversation, the way I have felt appreciated, the way I have felt seen, the way I have felt valued, and honestly, the way that I have felt celebrated, I haven't felt that in such a long time. And I feel like I needed a little bit of time for myself, even though I feel like these people reached out to me very, very quickly after I pulled the plug. I feel like it wasn't until I took that time for myself to actually say, you know, based off my friendships, you would think that I only deserve my message being hearted. You would think that I only deserve an occasional, oh, that's so cute. You would think that I don't deserve to be texted back. You would think that I was just kind of this friend who was just like, oh, hey girl, like, I miss you so much, I love you. I'm not. I am the friend that I want to know you. I want to look in your eyes and be like, bro, I see you. I see your consciousness. I see your soul. And more importantly, I see me in you. Everything that I love, everything that I hate, everything that I see is me. I always see myself in everything, right? And I still see myself in those friendships that I have left. But that's why I choose solitude, so I can work through those things. Why do I find myself in friendships with limited emotional connection? Why do I find myself in friendships with limited vulnerability? Why do I find myself in friendships where I serve a purpose, but I am not being seen? I am not the purpose. Being in community with me isn't the purpose. It's usually unpaid therapy. What am I doing to signal to people that that's all I need? And how am I going to continue to signal to my new kind of surrounding? How can I continue to affirm to those people that, like, yes, this friendship is what I need? And honestly, it's allowing them to tell me that I mean something to them. It's allowing them to tell me, I haven't had a conversation on the phone this long with anyone in so long, but I saw your name and I was like, yeah, I want to answer. I allow these people to tell me, like, I'm so glad that you get me. Like, this was so much fun. I allow myself to hear those things because those are the things that I was saying to people who couldn't say it back to me. Those are the words of affirmation that I have been giving out, waiting to receive. And now that I have them, and now that I'm being offered them, I just know that the solitude is what made this happen. I have been keeping myself open very long time. And I don't think that that's necessarily a problem, but what I do think my solitude has helped me realize is the doors that were open were blocking other doors. And now that I've closed them, I can fully see my options down the hallway. Okay, this little monster is demanding that I give him more shreds because he is the shredded king. Honestly, that's all I had to say. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.